Listen, were these boys actually fleeing that island? Were they fleeing Horn Island? Maybe we were focused on the wrong thing. We got to get into this breakdown. We're going to get an update from Tisa Tells, as well as a girl off Instagram, really on TikTok. Her name is Asia. But yo, it's like they keep deleting her videos. It's crazy. They try and silence it, y'all. Allegedly, they trying to silence it. Let's get right into the breakdown. We're not even wasting no damn time, y'all.
I'm not gonna say any names, but W is gonna be the person to the right. This video, he explains exactly what was wrong with the boat, and it wasn't caused by a random bilge pump issue. Bilge, however you say it. Another thing is that the jump from when he last saw No to when they were yelling, "Get on the boat," you're missing a big piece of what made everybody run to the boat. W also admits that the boy's name who writes with Smart started yelling at No. He also admits that throughout the day, they were all picking on No for being with that girl. And the moment, W says, the moment that girl and No sit in front of Smart's boat, Smart starts yelling at him all of a sudden out of nowhere, "Get on the boat." Boat wasn't having a bilge pump or bilge pump issue. Says verbatim, "We have an issue where we have finally trimmed down the boat and got it on the right plane." That they all moved to one side of the boat. When you trim down the motor to get it on the right plane, that means that you drop the bow. This is how you are supposed to get the actual boat from being completely still to an accelerated speed fast. That they left the trim down when trying to accelerate off the island at a very fast speed, and this is what blew the bilge pump. If the trim is not up when you try to take down, it causes water to back up in the bilge. The trim is left up, the bow shoots high into the air during acceleration, forcing all loose bilge water to rush to the very back of the hull. This is why they all tried to do the emergency mover where they move forward. This traps water in the boat and specifically at the bilge pump. Did an emergency remover that everyone knows about, and this fucked up the bilge pump and it started to take on water. Bilge pump wasn't an issue until they made it a quarter mile offshore, like he said, at 40 miles per hour, because they didn't take the emergency brake, and the maneuver that they used to try to get the bow back up fucked everything up on the boat. Question is, what type of panic or event ensued that y'all were moving so fast, the boys who've known boats since they were children, that y'all forgot to do the simplest thing when trying to accelerate from a stop on a boat that everyone knows when you're speeding, like they said, at 40 miles per hour. Something happened to cause enough chaos for them to fuck that up, is my point. I'm not going to say anything. No,
Let's think about this for a second. Were they all in a rush that they damn near broke the bilge pump moving at a high accelerated speed? This is crazy. Maybe we've been focusing on the wrong things. You know, this allegedly, and shout out to Shorty Asia. Shout out to y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the sister. But every time she posts on TikTok, they keep getting her videos removed. So that's how come she keeps saying no. And the person name that rhymes with Smart, which we know we're going to put that letter on it. That's a good old B on that letter. But yo, that sound crazy. We also going to get a quick little synopsis from my girl Tisa Tells. Shout out to Tisa Tells. Let's see what Tisa had to say about this one, because this is crazy.
Let's talk about it. If you guys don't see why this is so big, let me break it down. And for those of you that do understand what she's saying, y'all, we've been looking at this all wrong. And maybe they've been sending us red herrings. But thank God for Aja. Make sure y'all follow her. Mama she's smart, beautiful, love her, right? Listen to this. The whole thing about the trim, the bilge pump, all that stuff. These boys, and Warren was bragging about it. We've been on the boat our whole lives. We know this, we know that. When you go to leave, you must remove the trim. They left. It was a rookie error. It's like trying to drive at 80 miles an hour while your parking brake is on. And you see the emergency parking brake on and you don't care. You're still going. For someone that is an experienced driver, You're backing out and you floor it. And if 40 miles an hour in a boat is fast, so that's like literally going from 80 miles an hour out your mama's neighborhood, flooring it. And for what? What was the rush? Why were you guys so eager to get off of Horns Island that you forgot to take the emergency brake off? You forgot to take the trim off, and you literally went, vroom. And that's how the bilge pump actually got messed up. And that's why it even said in the interview that he had to go and pop the trim out. Because the one thing that should have happened before you even left the island, you didn't go, and you were going at 40 something miles an hour. Now we know from what they've said, if we can believe it, Bart met them out there. Bart offered a tow. They took it. While Wyatt is on the phone at the time he's being towed, talking to Cito. Why Wyatt's granddaddy is on the phone with the Cito captain saying, don't worry about it. Don't you worry about, okay, let me stop playing this serious, right? Got it. Now, we got that. But again, what happened that made these boys that have been on boats all their lives flee Horn Island? And how is it that everybody involved that Warren came with wants us to know and believe from the bottom of their hearts? And even they have phone calls to prove it, that they left at 4 o'clock off of Horn Island. And why did you flee? It seems like 42 miles an hour off of that island to the point of help had to be rendered while you were at sea.
Whew. Shout out to Aja. Shout out to Tisa. Y'all might be on to something here. Why would they be moving at such an accelerated speed? All right. And why did they call the sea tow company in dire straits, right? Only to cancel the tow and have your friend tow you. Okay. If you've been on an island somewhere, no pun intended, or under a rock, okay, this is what happened right here. Look at your screen. From 1 to 2 is to Horn Island. From 2 to 3 in the middle, looking like around the time that they had this issue. From 3 to 4 is when they back on shores. From 4 to 5, they get to Fort Bayou. From 5 to 6, Fort Bayou boat launch, right? To 7, they back on shore, then back to 7 to the boat launch. And then the boat gets towed to a home in Biloxi. After that, overland to 8. We heard that phone call. It sounded like something stressful was happening on that boat. Yet, when the sea tow operator was speaking to them, he sounded like, just come out right now. The woman asked him directly, is the water up to your ankles? How high is the water going up? I don't know, man. Just come right now. What type of I don't know is that? What sense does that make to you? Please. What sense does this make? It makes no sense to me. Why call the sea tow operator only to cancel the sea tow operator because somebody named that rhymes with smart had their own vessel? Let's think about this really, really clearly. Let's think, please. Y'all work with me. Bear with me, y'all. We're going to try to break this down real quick for you. This is the acceleration. This is the trim and the bilge pump failure, right? So they say you take off, the trim down, the bow is down, right? On plane, the trim up, and it optimizes. Too much trim up, the bow high is dangerous. This is where things can go wrong. Now, how improper operation can damage a system and lead to a pump failure? 1, the bow is too high and it starts to slamming. You can see it down here. Hard landings and pounding can stress the hull, the back of the boat, and the fittings and the equipment can cause cracks and loosen fittings and leaks, all right? So now look right here. It says 2, loose or damaged hoses or fittings. Aggressive movement can loosen hoses or clamps connected to the pump or other through the hull fittings. Water leaks in and the pump efficiency drops. Because remember, the bilge pump supposed to pump water out the boat, right? So it says damaged wiring. Pounding and vibration can damage the wire or disconnect power to the bilge pump. The pump may stop working altogether. And then 4, when water overwhelms the system, water enters faster than the pump can remove it due to leaks and heavy seas, and the pump can't keep the boat up, and the boat begins to flood. So this is key takeaways. Listen to this. First of all, what is a bilge pump? This is what a bilge pump looks like on your right-hand side. The bilge pump removes water that collects in the lowest part of the boat, the bilge. Okay, that's the lowest part of the boat. Is called the bilge, and this is why it's called a bilge pump. Now, typically, the bilge pump is automatic. It removes water, it keeps the boat safe, and works automatically when the water rises. Now, these are key takeaways. Checkpoint: trim down to take off, and you get on the plane safety. Look at the plane, the second image on the top. That's how you get off precisely at an even keel. But when you go in with too much trim up, the boat's front starts to go up, and this is where the hull can start to be compromised. So to trim up gradually, you optimize speed and control. You avoid the bow too high, which causes slamming, right? And stresses on the boat. So the bilge pump is their last line of defense. Keep it maintained and make sure that it works. So this could be due to listen, were they speeding, dodging, trying to get out of Dodge? We don't know what the hell happened here, bruh. But something seems shady about this, and I'm glad that I was able to just show you exactly what the bilge pump is, exactly what the trim high means, and all of those things. So I want you to think about this. If they were accelerating at a high speed, right, which caused the top of the boat to go up like this, which starts to slam in the water, which can break down the hoses, loosen clamps, which can damage the hull of the boat as well, where the bilge pump cannot start to properly pump water out of the bilge. I want y'all to think about that, all right? This is crazy, but this is new information, all allegedly, right? Because we don't know what the facts are, but guess what? We are getting to the facts as best as we can. So salute to everybody. I want you to hype this video. I want you to share this video, and I want you to like this video because that gets us out into the algorithm. And I want you to comment on this video. What do you think about this? That's why I made sure I brought up an infographic so that you can see it for yourself and kind of break it down to say, okay, what is a bilge pump? What does it actually do? How can you trim down improperly? What happens when you trim up too fast? What's going on? How does the damage happen, and how is it caused? That's why I'm glad I was able to show y'all that. But listen, man, y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thinking about this whole thing. I want y'all subscribing to the channel. I want y'all turning the notification bells on and make sure that you on go when Uda's on go. Be a part of this channel now. Be a part of the Go Gang. Trust me, because every day it's seeming like we got some new updates. All my niggas from the Uda. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn